can you believe that it's already been over 20 years since the release of Infest? Can you believe that?
Uh, yes, I can. But first, let me just say, Joel, thanks for having me on the podcast. I'm really grateful to be here. It's just a great opportunity to just, kind of show up and just shoot the breeze and it's cool, man. Thanks for having me. And yeah, man, I when it comes to I can't believe, it's been 22 years now, since we released the major label debut, and I really don't know what to say. I kind of do this little math experiment with my family. So I'm like, when I was a kid around 12, 13 years old and discovering music, in earnest for the first time, I was listening to stuff. So this is like about 88, 89, right? The 80s. And I was listening to music that was from mid 60s all the way through like mid 70s. I was discovering artists like Jimi Hendrix and the Doors and Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, right? And so that was like 20 years back from my point of reference as a kid. And now I look and I'm like, okay, my first album that I made is now older than my, these classic albums that I was listening to as a kid. So it's almost like my youngest son, my son Bon is 13 years old. So it's right about the same time frame. You know what I mean? It's weird, man. It feels weird. I don't know. Like, do we call it classic rock now, or I don't know. I don't know what to do with it. You know what I mean? It's just pretty wild.
Yeah, now when I'm driving and the music that I grew up listening to at 16, 17, 18 is on the classic rock stations, I heard Finger 11 recently on classic rock, Papa Roach, you're like, oh man, like we're getting old if that's classic rock. Because for me, classic rock is like Led Zeppelin, Tom Petty, Black Sabbath, all that stuff. But
Right.
it's an honor to be included in that group, right? If you're still getting radio play. So
Absolutely. And I mean, just the simple fact that, that album has stood the test of time. You know what I mean? It's still listenable and popular today. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, Last Resort is just one of those songs that, I always make the analogy, Aerosmith has like Dream On. It's like not their only hit, but it was like their first hit. It's it's the song that everyone kind of knows them for. And I'm like, Last Resort's kind of like our Dream On, you know what I mean? And it'll always be that, and I mean, that song gets spun at EDM festivals. Like I think Steve Aoki dropped it in his set. And if I'm not mistaken, I think there's that DJ Marshmello, I think. Like, dude, there's so many DJs that like drop it in their set. And, like, the crazy thing is, like, as soon as it comes on, like, no matter what room you're in, no matter what country you're in, whether it's a club or a stadium or whatever, like, if that song gets dropped, like, everyone knows the words. You know what I mean? It's just like this ubiquitous, like, it's like a phenomenon or something. I don't know, dude. I can't explain it, but it's something special, and I'm really grateful for that.
When I ask bands that are celebrating the 20, 25, 30-year anniversary of their breakthrough albums, most of them say it feels like yesterday, but it also feels like a lifetime ago. Like, it feels like both of them, because you remember writing and recording the album. You remember what it's like when the album comes out and blows up, and radio play and music videos and awards and all that stuff. But also there's the lifetime of like personal growth and having kids, and you're in a way different place now than you were then. Does that feel accurate? It does feel like recent, but also feels like a lifetime ago.
Absolutely, that's entirely accurate. I mean, I can remember where I was, where we were during the recording process of that record, everything leading up to that. You know what I mean? Like, going from an independent band to getting signed to a major label, and then writing that song and that album, going in the studio to record it. You know what I mean? And then after the album drops, everything kind of became a blur. You know what I mean? So there's bits and pieces that I can pick out, and I kind of can put the story together in my mind, but it all happened so fast and so quick, and my life changed. The year 2000, my life changed entirely.
It's all a hot mess after that.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And then, and like you're saying, like now, I'm a dad. I have my son and my stepson, and my priorities are have shifted. You know what I mean? And it's a different, different life. Almost seems like it's a lifetime ago, but I still remember it like it was like it had just happened.